Hello everybody, thanks for joining me for today's video. This is a weekly question answer video where I'm answering people's questions, your guys' questions from the last question answer video from last Monday. I encourage all of you, please ask me anything you want. I'm a life coach and I make these videos I'm trying to help you guys with your trauma, with dealing with it, processing, understanding it, learning it, hopefully pointing you in the right direction for the help that you need, okay? I'm still being shadow banned on YouTube. And that means that I'm not being circulated or promoted or anything by YouTube to grow anymore. That means I really, more than ever, could appreciate your guys' support, pushing a button or two, voting, making it active, asking questions, sharing it, subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So I recommend something every week. This week, I'm going to recommend something for you guys to do, kind of a little activity here. After abusive relationships, we tend to lose ourselves, okay? After trauma, we tend to be depressed and anxious. We tend to isolate. We tend to stop trying to have relationships with people, and we cannot, okay? One thing to make our life more interesting, one thing to make the world more interesting, people more interesting, way to meet people, okay? A way to meet people again and start new relationships with people, and a way to make life happier. Is to have interest. And we all should have some interest, yeah? It's the only time I'll say should. This is something we do to replace our loss. A lot of you guys have lost people in your life. Relationships have failed, things like this. And it took up a lot of space and time. A lot of these are very codependent, very dependent, very demanding relationships that just took up all your daily life. And you guys sacrificed and compromised so much in your life. So now here you are. Sometimes we don't have many people in our lives and not many interests, and we don't know how to meet people and stuff. This is a way to do it. And we replace our loss with something, okay? You guys, divorce, you have failed relationships, someone passed away. What are you going to replace that loss with? So, this is about interactivity. For relationships, you can also, this is for addictions. This is very good. Commitment takes space and time. Okay, so we need to be very mindful of what we're committed to, of what we're doing, how we're investing in our commitments. Sometimes we aren't aware that we're even committed. Sometimes we just agree to people and what they want, and now we're committed to it. So to begin a new commitment, we typically need to end a new commitment. So much space and time that we have. So hobbies are activities you engage in. Interests are passive ideas or topics. What I did is I just listed some hobbies and interests that I hope you guys will consider to explore, okay? And feel free to put your own ideas down below, please. So, art, creativity, okay? This can be graphic design, clothes, jewelry. I actually make some jewelry, paracord, bracelets, glow-in-the-dark paracord dog collars for Danny. Ceramics, interior design, play an instrument, make music with it, woodworking, women or men, beauty, hair, nails, makeup, cooking or baking, which has been proven to help heal from trauma, community service for children, for seniors, animals at animal shelters, exercise, healthcare, and nutrition. And maybe you want to explore that even more. Maybe a career path. Team sports, learn a language, writing, blogging, poems, nature, like photography, hiking, camping, boating, rafting, lessons for anything, learn something new. Make yourself interesting to other people. History, learn about history. Yeah, I mean, learn about the history of your own country, of your own city, town. Learn about the history in the world, wars, things like this. This will spark your interest and maybe make you want to travel. Theater and traveling. Traveling, number one. And just, I mean, besides health and exercise, stuff like this, but traveling, I try to get people, encourage people to always have a trip planned soon. It could be a small trip, and then a trip planned later, something to look forward to, okay? Commit to this, do stuff, look it up, find out what you would do. I know you may not have the money now, but it doesn't mean you can't plan. You may have some of the money now. Maybe you could buy a package, buy a part of it, buy the clothes that you need, things like this. See, that makes you commit by investing, okay? I think that's all I got. Yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think, okay? I've said this many times. We'll say it again. I don't care who you are, but there are 5 things in this world that interest you, that you are interested, that you don't even know exists, okay? And when you find things like that, really it just sparks excitement. You go from, God, you know, this mundane, boring world, how much time is there left? Jesus, how much time, how many more days do I have to keep doing this to? There's not enough time in the world. I just want to pursue this. So let me know what you guys think and make your own suggestions, please. Thank you. Okay, let's get into the questions. One I missed from last week because I didn't look it up. Emily from Latvia asked me, what's my opinion and conclusion of Dr. Joseph Mengele, also known as the Angel of Death? And I recognize the name, but I forgot. I went and looked it up. And this is the doctor who served in the Nazi military, Nazi Germany, in the 30s and 40s. Became an SS officer, fought in the war, and eventually became a doctor, where he performed experiments on the people they captured in concentration camps. He was mostly at Auschwitz. This guy killed 1,400 children once. He killed 300 children in one swoop. Just boom, just burned them all. I mean, it's just insane. It's just disgusting. He was definitely, I definitely think he's a psychopath. This guy, later, nurses, doctors, people who helped him, assisted him, all said that these experiments served no purpose. Although he did call it under the guidelines of eugenics and stuff like this, disgusting, and performed most of his experiments on little children. And basically, he was just a sadist. He just enjoyed watching people suffer. I mean, just pointless experiments. How many times does it take someone to die from butting their heads from a rifle? Or if they survive, how many times does it take to cause brain damage? I mean, just you get the point. And it's crazy. He escaped to Sweden after World War II. He escaped to Sweden, later to Argentina, where he lived seems like a pleasant life, and died of natural causes, I think in the late 70s, on a beach, stroke. Nice, huh? Unbelievable. You asked me, why is it that abusers never admit wrongdoing? Well, first, Emily, I mean, we're all different. Maybe they don't think it's wrong. Usually that's why they do it and don't admit it, right? We do something wrong, we say, oh God, that was wrong, I don't ever want to do that again. No, they double down, triple down, right? So I've gotten into this a lot, and it's hard for people who hate themselves to look at themselves, okay, to introspect, for one. 2, psychopaths, it's not hard, they don't do it at all. I don't think they have a self. And even psychopaths, even this guy, never admitted wrong till the day he was died. Never, no regrets. But the thing is every human that has some kind of consciousness wants to be accepted by society. We need society, period. It's the most important thing. So you'll have psychopaths who murdered people. They've been convicted. They've been tried, convicted of it, and they still will claim, I didn't rape her. I just murdered her. I can't remember that. I just put that quote in the community page a few days ago. I can't remember who said it. Some psychopathic killer. But they want to be accepted by society. We are programmed being such social animals for so long now. We are 100%, not 99, 100% dependent on society. Okay, we die without people. We die. And even psychopaths need society, so they need to be accepted. So it's hard for them to admit to some of the most heinous things that they've done, not out of regret or remorse, because they know that we don't like it. We'll kill them. We'll ostracize them. So that's typically why. They don't think it's wrong, they won't look at themselves, and they want to be accepted by society. Okay, walking the 5D path. Oh, and guys, please let us know your locations if you don't mind. Just tell us where you're at. Thank you. I tried 4 times to ask variations of the same question across 2 months. Each time my comment vanished. I gave up trying and never asked anything again. Question was not sensitive or controversial at all. I still watch every week and love your content. Just left puzzled and wondering why. And I saw this one. Too bad you didn't get your question in there. I'm really sorry. That's what I'm talking about, being shadow banned. I've got several of these just in this video. I'm not going to read them all, just this one. But I'm telling you guys, it's true. So I'm being censored and shadow banned because something I'm saying or have said doesn't fit the narrative, the political and social agenda of YouTube. Can't have any conflicting or contradicting statements or opinions. Not allowed anymore. So I have to start thinking just like they do. The problem is they don't give me the list or the packet of how. They sit there and just do this stuff to me to get me to conform because I have to keep doing this. I have to for you guys, you know. I don't think there's enough out there. And as much as you guys tell me I'm helping, makes me not stop. So that's why I'm really, really sorry. I'd really appreciate it if you guys try again, leave your questions. You can go complain about this. But what really helps is activity. I'm telling you, there's 90% of you guys watching my videos that don't do anything, don't comment, don't like, aren't subscribed. And it's kind of awful. If you think that I'm helping you and you come back and watch me, can you just push a button? Just subscribe. Hit like. Hit down like. Tell me you don't like it. Okay? It helps. Share it. Thanks. I'm really sorry. Thanks for trying again. Thanks for being patient with me, guys, and sticking with me. Salema from France. Hi, Salema. Thank you so much for your answers, not addressing their problem and refusing to grow up. I have a question. I believe that when my left ear whistles, it means that some people are talking badly about me. And when my right ear whistles, it means they're talking good about me. Is this belief real? Do you believe in it too? Or is it just magical thinking? Well, your belief is real, right? You believe it? It's real. Is it really happening? How would I know? Doesn't happen to me. To be honest, my guess is probably not. But it's probably not really working that well. I don't know. You know, the last thing I'll ever do is tell somebody who's telling me an experience they had and tell them, no, you didn't. It's just the worst thing we can do. We don't need to. I don't care how outlandish someone's story is. I got abducted by aliens and I was, you know, cloned, and I'm just a clone of myself, and I have alien babies, and I mean, whatever it is, just okay. I don't need to laugh at them and ridicule them. How many times does that happen in society? I mean, in history, and it turns out to be true. So I don't know what to tell you, Salema. It doesn't happen to me, and you want me to guess? I think it's probably something else. Is it magical thinking? If it's not true, then I guess a little bit, right? I wrote something here. I think, I'm going to see if I wrote something else. Oh, you wrote something else. I replied to you just what I said now. You said, thanks for telling me. I guess it helps to be more careful of what my body tells me. I still have poor boundaries and have difficulties in knowing when to leave a group. So this ear whistling issue is neither true nor false. Maybe just a step in the process of being more aware of oneself. What do you think, David? Do people like us need to go through a magical thinking belief first before being more aware and more realistic with oneself and other people? Do you personally experience some magical thinking in your healing journey? Yeah, totally. We all have, because we've all been children, for one. There are children out there that will tell you some of the most outlandish stories, and they truly believe it, don't they? There are many children, or children in general, can be very suggestive, can't they? Right? Santa Claus, Easter Bunny. Sorry for those of you adults who still believe in those. Yeah, right? Right? I mean, you can tell a story to a child. They don't know if it's true or not. We're able to decipher some of those now, but do you see? And so it's about you know, emotionally evolving and emotionally growing and becoming more mature. Okay, we're all prone to it, especially with neglect and trauma. Here I wrote an answer. But I didn't save it. That's too bad. So yeah, there was a point in my life, sure, in my 20s, where I was very, very interested in horoscopes, astrology, fortune tellers, tarot card readers, spirituality. I love that word. I'm still a little, you know, I've had amazing experiences, like some just insane experiences in my life. And I'm not so interested in those things anymore. I know some people who literally live their life by those kinds of things, that literally make every decision and choice by those kinds of things because they don't know who they are. Okay, so the more that we do this, the less we tend to know who we are. I get a lot of people that ask me, what should I do? That's the hardest question to ever answer for someone. Okay, it's question. Those are questions that we answer for ourselves, and nobody really can. Okay, not even our parents. What should I do? That takes to totally know who you are. Then you go by that. There's no right or wrong. Okay, we have laws. Doesn't mean you have to abide by them. There's just repercussions. That's what I think, you know, and who knows the real truth about any of it. As far as the ear whistling, who would want to know the bad things people say about us? Because there's one thing I've learned in this world so far, in a few decades, is there's going to be people always that won't like you. There's going to be people that hate you. There's going to be people that talk bad about you. There's going to be people that say things that aren't true. And all of those people don't know you, don't want to take the time to get to know you, don't care. So who cares what they think? I tend to not value everyone's opinion. I tend to value the people's opinions that I have relationships with that I value. Okay? Hope that helps. Lisa from Ireland. Hi, Lisa. I understand the shadow band now a bit more. Good. The Johnny Depp case is very sad. When I say the truth will outshine in the end. Okay, so Lisa last week said, I think you're suggesting Johnny Depp or whoever will win, who's ever telling the truth, because the truth always wins and comes out. And I was like, yeah, I wish that was true. Still waiting for mine. But yeah, and you said, yeah, what you meant is that you will personally always know your truth of what you endured, allowed yourself to endure in a toxic soulless relationship. You know and feel guilty sometimes that you never ran away. Sometimes this haunts me, David, as I've never seen such physical abuse before, but yet I stayed with him. And this is really about forgiving ourselves, right? It's not your fault. It's not your fault, but I see some guilt here, some shame. And this follows these kinds of abusive relationships. So process these things, Lisa, and there's just no better way to do that with someone else. And I suggest you do that with somebody that's helped people with this before, that knows how to help you, okay? And thank you, Lisa. Victoria from the Bay Area, San Fran. I survived a narcissistic man, a stroke, and a sister that no longer includes me in the family. I've lost everything. I prayed every day. I did a lot of therapy. Nothing's working. I'm about to turn 60, and I no longer want to work on my family situation. I told my therapist I no longer want to discuss trying to get my family back. I asked her to help me get my focus exercising and stop dwelling in all of this pain. I just want to bury it so far. I'll never find it. I'm really sorry, Victoria. I'm sorry. I hope your therapist is helping you. That's vitally important. Okay, Victoria, here's the path that looks like on a graph, say, for you to get the best help possible. It's right here, okay? You can't go any better because this is the best help for Victoria. Anything less than this is an injustice. It could be damaging. Even this could be damaging. Maybe your therapist isn't helping you, and that may not even be the fault of the therapist. Maybe you're not, I don't know, but maybe you're not doing what they're suggesting. Maybe things like this, okay? So really work with your therapist and decide if they're helping you, Victoria, and if not, do something, okay, to do that. All right. You want to be, you don't have a relationship with your family anymore, and you don't have to. The only reason you would try is because you want to. So you don't want to, you don't have to. I call it divorcing your family, which we never even agreed to anyways, right? There's no contract. Any family that makes you feel like that is toxic. Straight up. You owe me. Fuck. Owe you. Owe you nothing. Oh, we owe nobody nothing. Yeah. Except maybe we agreed on it, signed a contract, but I don't remember doing that as a child. Remember that, Victoria, if your therapist isn't helping you enough, find better help, okay? And I'm sorry. You'll probably feel a lot better when you stop talking to your family. Stop trying. Monica, can't remember where you're from. Random question, but if I was bullied and ignored since 4 years old, can that be itself make me an addict? No. Nothing made you an addict, right? These are choices you made, okay? You did it. Are we more inclined to have addictions in life when we're neglected? Number one reason. Number one. When you really, truly understand what emotional neglect is as a child, you'll truly understand how absolutely traumatizing it is and how psychologically damaging it is for the rest of your life. You think you can't handle neglect and abuse at 40, 30, 20, 50? Yeah. Try 6. They're formidable years, meaning our brain's forming, our personality begins to form later in teenage years, forming who we are under neglect and trauma. Yeah. Number one reason for addictions. Number one. Jennifer Ellis from the United Kingdom. Hi, Jennifer. David, what is intuition? A few words will do. It's always good to hear about this to refresh my memory, even if you have already explained before. Thank you. You are welcome. My short opinion of what intuition is using all available information you have from our past experiences and our current environment to make the best choices possible. It's kind of like foreseeing what will happen, right? Not much intuition if we're making the same mistakes over and over again, right? It really separates us from many other animals, the ability to know what another human will do. That's it. Or you did let me know what you think. Love this answer, short and sweet. Pink Diamond. People that never been through it don't get it. And also some people that have been through it. A lot. Most. I said they don't need to, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? Just to have that validation and understanding. I'm amazed. I've seen people go through this and still judge victims. It's like, wow, it hasn't been fresh enough. Emily Merton from South Africa. Hi, Emily. I always like Emily's questions. Sometimes she'll just drill me. Boom, 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 boom. Makes me think, too. If you can choose if people make you upset or not, is it your fault for feeling pain all those years? Well, if you're wording it right, it's not your fault what anybody has done to you, period. I don't care how many times you've let them. I don't care how many times you've opened the door for them, taken them back. It's still their fault. Anything I've done to somebody, it's my fault. Even if they did it first. Even if I was drunk. Even if I was really mad. Even if I lose it. I saw a comment a couple weeks ago on a video of mine. I was doing this borderline meltdown video and someone said, oh, that's just not fair to say this. That's just not fair. Everybody loses it every once in a while. Okay, yeah, loses it. Well, that's a broad definition, I mean, or statement of whatever your opinion is of losing it. But the person in the video I was referring to was absolutely psychotic and totally lost it and was extremely violent and attacked people. So to excuse that behavior and say everybody loses every once in a while, maybe people feel like that sometimes, but the behavior is inexcusable. No, so I'm sorry that you felt that way. That's your emotions, and it's your responsibility to take care of that, to make yourself feel better, nobody else, right? But it's not your fault that anything anybody did to you to make you feel painful. To anybody that caused pain to you, it's not your fault. You can give me any scenario you want. Nope, not your fault. Nope, not your fault. Nope, not your fault. Okay? If I can change people's opinion of me by how I act, then I can keep people from hurting me by what I do. Well, I would rather just never try to change someone's opinion or form their opinion of you. Very different telling someone who you are or trying to form their opinion of you. Okay? Very, very different. Trying to form someone's opinion is manipulative. Okay? Telling somebody who you are is just self-awareness, being open, honest, and vulnerable. If someone has a bad opinion of you, Emily, you may never change it. Accept it. Okay? Accept it. I'm not saying accept that what they're saying is true. Nobody knows you better than you. Nobody. And we can sit and we can take the time to find out who someone is, right? Or we cannot, and we can judge someone real quick. So anybody that says, oh, I just met somebody and they're an asshole or they're amazing, what? Their hair? Their breath? You don't know them, okay? If your worth isn't judged by what you do, then why should people have worth just because they exist? Well, we don't have to do anything. There's no should, nothing. You don't have to have worth. It'll just benefit you in life. It'll get you the things that you want and need, and you'll feel good, be happy, things like this, okay? Nobody decides your worth. You do. In other words, if you feel really ugly, physically ugly, your face is ugly, somebody has scars, things like this, you can have 100 people come up and tell you how beautiful you are. It might feel good for a moment, but once they're all gone and you're right back to your own self-worth, you determine that. Then why should people have worth? Because you have to feel worthy to live. You must be worthy to put food in your mouth, right? And you must be worthy, you must feel worthy to have, worthy enough to have someone healthy in your life, someone that doesn't abuse you, someone that doesn't neglect you. You have to feel worthy of having your needs met, right? Good luck living in this world without any self-worth. How can you assign your own self-worth if it is not based on anything? Then you can just create a false narrative like the narcissist. You can, but it's emotional. So if it's false, you don't believe it. Is it true? I know my self-worth and I feel it, okay? And it's not, and it is based on something. Yourself, Emily, okay? You can assign your own self-worth, but we need to believe it, don't we? Right? Boundaries are a measure of your self-worth. I can tell somebody, no, don't do that, stop. And then they can step right over that boundary and keep doing it and go, okay. So I assigned my own self-worth and said, I'm worthy of someone not doing that to me. And then they did it and I said, well, actually, I'm not worthy of it. And I let them do it. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know what you think of my answers, Emily. And keep them coming. Thank you. Jennifer again. Hi. How do street drugs work for psychological trauma? Is it a fast but quick relief? What part of the brain is being affected when these lost souls choose the way to avoid pain? So if you mean how do street drugs help psychological trauma, they don't. There is no drugs to help this. Well, I hope I'm very clear. There is no drug to heal from this, to help you, to make you heal. There's a pill, I'm not necessary, right? Nobody else is either. There isn't. There is not. Antidepressants, that doesn't help you heal from trauma. Anti-anxiety medicine, no. Because it's emotional trauma and you're talking about emotions, we need to heal our emotions. Depression and anxiety are big ones. If you have to take a pill, you're not working properly. We naturally, organically regulate our own depression and anxiety. If we're not doing that, it's not working correctly. And so we're taking pills to help, but it's not going to cure. There is none. None. Street drugs are awful. Awful for you. I've done plenty of drugs, guys. I'm talking from experience, okay? I think a lot of times I talk about drugs and stuff and people get mad at me because I'm hating on and I'm against taking drugs for trauma. It's the worst thing you can do. Psychological trauma means you have brain damage. There's literally brain damage done from this kind of over long periods of time, psychological trauma, and your nervous system isn't working properly. You have a chemical imbalance. So now you want to take drugs? You want to introduce drugs causing more brain damage? Here's a neuron. These are dendrites. Okay? Here's another neuron, dendrites. These send and receive messages to each other. This is how everything functions in our body. Drugs come and attack these dendrites. Okay? Some will block from messages and some will mimic wrong messages. Okay? Psychedelic drugs wraps itself in these areas in the synapse and causes major damage and major long-term damage. I've seen people try to take ayahuasca, LSD, DSM, things like this, with some really, really sad results. Really sad. Don't do it. Let your freaking brain heal, and heal it with truth, not false, fake. Okay? That's my opinion. Thank you. And why do lost souls choose to avoid the pain? Because they don't know how to process it. That's why it causes addictions. We are not learning how to emotionally process. We're not learning how to be emotionally responsible, to take care of ourselves. We weren't taught because we had bad teachers, our parents. I'm not going to say bad parents, bad teachers. And it means your parents didn't know. So they have no idea what you're talking about when you learn this and go back and talk to them. Huh? What? What are you saying? Oh, I was a bad parent? Simon. Don't know where you're from. Let us know next time, Simon. Thanks. Now I don't chase after others. I empower myself first and foremost before anyone else. And that is what we're supposed to do. Good. That's why I say love yourself first. I'm not saying love yourself only. I'm not even saying love yourself more. But you take care of yourself and give yourself what you need first, because that's the way the world works. And without it, we lose. Is that it? No? A couple more? Emily again, for some reason, the busier you are, the more energy you feel you have. That's right. Because guess what happens when you completely stop moving anymore? You get sick, you get disease, and we take that long dirt nap. Rose, don't know where you are. Let us know next time, please, Rose. I'm not sure this has ever been talked about, as I can't find anything on it. I've been living with him many years, and he changes very suddenly. Recently with food, before he would want to eat in the evening, and then nothing, and then now nothing. Suddenly wants only fresh food and only cooks for himself in the morning. Before I used to cook rice, he loved it. Now he hates rice. His sleeping is also short, erratic. Goes from buying me lovely things to calling me a mental case, but says it in a humored way. Oh, that's good. As long as he laughs. Walks by me and flicks my head again in a humored way. Yeah, physical abuse can be funny sometimes, especially to the abuser. Not so much to the victim. Rose, this is sad. This is sad. You said you're not sure anyone's ever talked about this before. Sure, people have. Many videos about this. I have like 1,000 videos. I probably somewhere, sometime have talked about this 400 different videos. Get out, Rose. Get out. You're sitting there trying to figure him out because you have no more life, no more self, nothing to look at anymore. So you just keep looking at the narcissist. He's abusing you, and things like this tend to get much worse. You're in danger now. This is dangerous, toxically dangerous, and could get much more dangerous. That being said, this is called, here, I'll tell you what I said. Hello, Rose. Thank you for your question. I'm sorry for where you are. I encourage you to seek professional support as to not be isolated and have healthy guidance. These behaviors are called psychological splitting and impulsivity due to emotional instability and unstable sense of his own self. He most likely will get worse as the relationship continues, which will cause both of you more and more stress, which will continue to add to his toxic behaviors. You may not be in a safe place that can escalate to much more dangerous environments quickly. Get out, Rose. Okay? I hope I answered your question. I would start learning more about you. Okay? Good luck. Cindy C. Hope YouTube will stop blocking. Me too. Thank you, Cindy. Like I said, all of you guys can help. Activity. I'm asking all of you. Can you push one button? You can leave a period, a dot in the comment section. You can Dislike my videos. Share them. Text them to yourself. Put them in a playlist. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys. Let me know what you think of my answers. Please keep the questions coming, okay? All of you who watch my videos, always read the comments. They're great. And this is a good, healthy, safe environment down there. Thank you, guys. Love yourself first. I'll see you next week. Bye.